By the mid-18th century, the ancient Kanem-Bornu Empire was losing its power. Fulani pastoralists moved into the region, causing tension with the settled Hausa communities. Even though both groups were Muslim, they competed fiercely for resources. This period saw the once united Hausa kingdoms, which had been paying tribute to Kanem-Bornu, becoming independent and often fighting each other. USMAN Dan-FODIO, born in 1754, became a popular Islamic scholar in the 1770s. He traveled through the Hausa kingdoms, teaching about the responsibilities of Muslim rulers to promote Islam and govern justly. He criticized corruption and the mistreatment of fellow Muslims. Initially, Dan-FODIO had the support of Gobir's leaders, but as his influence grew, they saw him as a threat. King Nafata of Gobir restricted his preaching, and things got worse when Nafata's successor, Yunfa, exiled him to the village of Dagal in 1801. In 1803, tensions boiled over when Yunfa attacked Dan-FODIO's followers. This led to a revolt where Dan-FODIO's supporters freed the prisoners. When Yunfa offered Dan-FODIO the chance to leave Dagal peacefully, he refused and instead led his followers to Gudu in a mass migration. On February 21, 1804, Yunfa declared war on Dan-FODIO, who was then proclaimed the commander of the faithful by his followers. The conflict between Dan-FODIO and Yunfa began with minor skirmishes but escalated with the Battle of Tsuntua. Despite losing men, Dan-FODIO's forces persisted, capturing the village of Matankari and fighting in the major battle of Tabkinkwado. Both armies had a mix of ethnic groups, with the Gobirawa, including Tuaregs and Fulani, while Dan-FODIO's forces comprised Hausa, Fulani, and some Tuaregs. In 1805, Dan-FODIO's forces captured the Hausa kingdom of Kebbi, and by 1807 they took over Katsina. The ruler of Katsina committed suicide after his defeat, and the Sultanate of Kano fell soon after. In 1808, Dan-FODIO's forces assaulted Gobir, killing Yunfa in the Battle of Alkalawa and destroying much of the city. They continued to battle other Hausa kingdoms, and by 1846 they had toppled the Saifawa dynasty. In 1809, Usman Dan-FODIO's son, Muhammad Bello, transformed the camp of Sokoto into a city. Usman ruled from Sokoto as the religious leader until 1815 when he retired. Bello succeeded him as ruler and took the title of Sultan in 1817. The British colonial government of Nigeria later stripped the Sultan of most of his political power in 1903, but the title still holds significant spiritual authority. The success of Usman Dan-FODIO's jihad inspired other West African jihadists, leading to the founding of several other empires. Despite the British conquest in 1903 and Nigeria's independence in 1960, the Sokoto Caliphate endures today, continuing to hold spiritual significance.